Good evening. I'd like to thank you for taking your time to watch this video, and I hope it's more than just entertainment. I hope this is a teaching thing and let you understand that there's powers that we don't understand, and they're definitely something to be careful of. And the Bible says to not even participate in them. The Bible's saying don't participate in them. That means there's some power behind that. So here's a person I came across that wants to share her Ouija board experience because there's a great concern for it. I've had many experiences myself, and I'd like to document what she shared because it's really quite a story.
Okay, so my friend Marcy and I, we were about, I want to say maybe 12, 13. We come across a Ouija board. She sneaks it over to my house. It's during the day, so we're trying to play it. We got my mom's candles. There was a Mother Mary praying like this, one of those tall, like 24-hour candles, and then a Jesus one. And we set it up or whatever and lit the candles and everything, and we're getting ready to play. We didn't have a chance yet to ask it anything. I just opened it up, and Marcy got it set up on the floor. And I remember the way that I was sitting was facing my bedroom door, and the way that Marcy was sitting was facing a window that was directly behind me, with my bedroom window. And so we were laughing and stuff, and I'm like, shh, my mom doesn't know. It's like, oh my gosh, she's gonna kill me. And the next thing I know, the candle, the Jesus candle, it's almost instantly, as soon as we light it, these are brand new candles too, by the way. We light the candles. I think we lit the Mary candle first. Next thing I know, it's almost like so hot it busts, and there's like no wax coming out. It's just busted open, and I look at the Jesus candle, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this. And it's burning like green. And the hottest, I guess, is like a bluish color or bluish green color, but this is green. And it didn't go from a regular flame to that or anything. It was, the second we lit it, it was green. And there's no blowing them out at this point. They're going, and this Mother Mary candle broke right here as where her rosary was. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Marcy, look at her eyes, and they're bleeding. It's red, like bubbly, and we can't touch it because we don't know if we're gonna get burned. So we just leave it there, and we're like, oh my gosh, we're trying to blow it out. We're trying to cover up what we were doing. And the next thing I know, my blinds, they were like regular, not the ones that shut, that are long-wise. They're
Horizontal,
regular old blinds, and they're just opening and closing, like somebody is taking the roller that opens and closes them and just doing this. I mean, and they're that fast, opening and closing. God, I'm getting goosebumps. And I'm like, oh my God, and I go to call for my mom, and I can't even call for her, and as the second I reach for the door handle, it's like I get violent pushed into the...
Pushed where? From the front, from the back, in your head, in your chest?
Everywhere. There was no
was it like
trauma.
Was it like one push or a bunch of them, or what was it?
Oh, it was like a throw into my into the base of my window, right in the middle of the wall of my window, like from the here's the window, and then here's the wall. It was like right in the middle, almost as if being thrown, like picked up like this and just tossed, because there's no way on God's green earth that you can actually be thrown like that, being as that my window was in the middle of the wall. So where I hit the wall was very low. So something was guiding me right in that direction, and the window cracked. We had a blanket over the window to make it dark in there for the candles. And when I hit the wall, the window, the blanket fell. And my best friend, my friend Marcy was like, oh my gosh, Michelle, look at the window. The way that it had cracked was like a heartbeat, but it was at the very bottom of the window, not where a window would normally crack. And very hard to replace, too. You'd have to replace the whole entire thing. It wasn't one part of the window. It was the whole bottom lining of the window.
So what about yourself? Did you get any bruises?
No. Not one bruise. It was almost as if it never happened. The only evidence that it did happen for me and Marcy at that point was the candles that my mom kept.
And the window.
And the window. Mm-hmm. The receipt of the window being cracked.
So you didn't see the thing move, right?
No, I did not see the thing move. We hadn't even had an opportunity to ask it a question.
So almost instantaneously, and you put the candles on the board or by the board or what?
We put them on the edge of the board. There was
how many? Just two?
We had two. Well, no, we had 4 candles. Not really candles. There was these little oil burners that my mom had. They were like really old. For some reason, they actually had a wick with oil still in them.
So there was.
But the glass cracked on those too.
So there was.
4.
4.
Mm-hmm. The only religious candles.
Are you sure there wasn't 5?
There was 4.
Okay. And how were they positioned on each
just
corner?
Just on there was. Here's the Mother Mary one on the top left-hand corner. The Jesus one was on the bottom right-hand corner, and then the 2 little ones, opposite directions of each other. So it was like they crossed each other. Mm-hmm. Making an X,
Do you realize that witches stick candles on the end of the star in a pentagram when they channel spirits?
That's why we only used 4.
Oh, so you knew about that.
Mm-hmm. My mom said not to light candles, but I was not allowed to light candles in my room, ever.
So
no incense.
What was you were testing the waters by putting 4 candles, or was that just to see and keep the lights dim? Or
it was to see. I guess it was just to test my mom. Maybe it was just to say, this isn't real, but it really is real, and you really need to watch what you're doing.
What did you do after that to get rid of the spirits and everything else? And
I never slept in that room again.
But you still lived in that house.
Unfortunately, yeah. And that house, I never slept in the room again because for some reason the animals, they would be, like the view from outside of my window was very eerie and odd. I would see animals. I'm very deathly afraid of raccoons because of that house. Raccoons, for some reason, always came to my window. And I don't know if you've ever seen a raccoon up close, especially a wild raccoon, but they hiss and growl and click, like snarl at you. They're not friendly, they're not cute, and they carry disease. There was one, I must have had rabies or something, I don't know, but there was a tree in front of my window. And so if you go up or whatever, the further into 12th Street Mountain you get, the more eerie, indigenous, and dark it gets. Sometimes when it would be sunny in town, it wouldn't be sunny up there. And I just kind of always thought that it was because, we lived on top of a mountain. But we did not live on top of a mountain. I just kind of felt as if we did, I guess. And when you look out my bedroom window, there's my backyard, but then there's a hill. Like a big hill. Because there was on top of a hill right there, our really good friend actually lived up there. The animals would come down and just kind of stare into my window. After that had happened, like before there'd be deer eating with, their baby deer and cats and bunny rabbits, all kinds of different animals. Now, after this happened, there was only raccoons, only the ones that I was terrified of, would come to my window. There was a family of raccoons that lived in the tree. And my dad always said, no, Missy, you're hallucinating that. There's no raccoons out there. There was always someone looking at me. Always. I felt like someone staring at me through my window, through my blinds. My blinds never sat right after that. Even after replacing the window. It just, for me, I opened up spirits to come into my room. And it was like a portal for spirits.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.